Futurist Jim Carroll from the home broadcast studio. In 2030, when you look back at today, are you going to be happy with the decisions that you made and the actions you undertook? Maybe not, because if you are suffering from the ill-fated disease of aggressive indecision, you aren't doing the things that you should be doing to take advantage of the trends which are redefining this future. Consider this. It's 2003. I'm speaking to a leadership summit in Houston, Texas. And I've got a room full of executives. It's after 9/11, and they are still stuck in an era of indecision. They aren't making the decisions to align themselves to the massive trends which would unfold in the next 15 years. I got on stage. I'd had enough with the aggressive indecision that I saw all the previous speakers focused upon. And in my closing keynote, I lit the fuse and told them what I thought about their world of indecision. Give it a watch.
I was looking at these frogs and I was thinking, that's it. They are sitting there. They are focused on the short-term threat. They are looking at the short-term world around them. They are thinking about what is going on in the here and now, and they're not realizing what is going on in the long term. The long-term trend is if they don't get out of that road, there's going to be a big problem and it's going to be ugly. How many of you have lost your ability to take risks? You've lost your courage to innovate. Bring it back. Restore the ability to make mistakes. It is better to have something go wrong than to not do anything at all. Isn't it time we get excited about the future again? Isn't it time we get innovative again? Isn't it time we start thinking again about how wonderful it could be? Isn't it time we start exploring the boundaries again in terms of the capabilities and the opportunities? Isn't it time we wake up, realize the benefit of initiative? It's my little guy Thomas, when he was 2, 3, wanted a hockey blocker. And we said, no, Thomas, you're not going to get one. You're going to grow and you're going to outgrow this thing. We're not going to spend the money on that. He went to his sitters. He had the sitter give him a cereal box. He painted it up and he had her cut out a little handle inside, and that was his hockey blocker, and he used it for 2 years. He took the initiative. The Pogo comic strip several years ago, Pogo observed in a comment to a friend of his, we is faced with insurmountable opportunities. Think about that phrase. We is faced with insurmountable opportunities. We know the opportunities are there. We know there are many things that we can do. We know there's all kinds of potential. But heck, we can't do them. They are insurmountable opportunities. This is what many of you are doing. This is what many of you are permitting to happen with the potential that you can bring to your organizations. You have put yourself in the box that you are faced with insurmountable opportunities. We know where the problem is. The problem is us. How many of you are like the frogs on the road in Texas? You are so focused on the short term that you're forgetting about what is happening around you. And you know what? There's lots more to come.
How many of you are missing out on the long-term opportunities which are unfolding right now, and you're driving yourself into this state of aggressive indecision? And meanwhile, the pandemic era is resulting in massive disruption, huge opportunities, entire industries accelerating, entire new opportunities being redefined. After I came back from that event, I spent a lot of time studying what it was that organizations did and didn't do to deal with the reality of the future. And then we had the global economic meltdown of 2008, 2009. I found myself soon on stage in Las Vegas for a massive global event with 7,000 people in the room. And I ended up talking about my action plan on how to get out of this state of aggressive indecision and organizational sclerosis. That became my structure of 10 great words that you need to align yourself to a faster future. Give it a watch right now.
So I'm going to leave you with 10 words. 10 words that I want you to think about as you think about the fast-paced future. Number 1, observe. Realize that the world around you is changing faster than ever before. And you think about the trends that everybody's talking about. Think about the discussion on growth. The third word is change. I'm going to innovate, change, and adapt. The fourth word is dare. Take risks. Innovators banish. But you're not going to have somebody, when a new idea is presented, who's going to come back and say, well, we can't do that because we've always done it this way. Innovators try. You're going to write down 3 things that you see at the trade show. You're going to take back to your organization, and you're going to try them out. You're going to question. We develop assumptions and habits and routines. You're going to focus on growth. You make a conscious decision that you are going to do. And you get to the 10th most important word of innovation of all, and that's enjoy. Thank you very much.
It's a big question. When you look back at your 2020 self from your 2030 self, are you going to be happy with what you're doing right now? Or are you going to look back and realize that you were stuck in a rut? You weren't doing what you could have done to reinvent yourself. You weren't chasing the trends. You weren't spending time thinking about the trends. You weren't being a leader who was prepared to take your organization into the future. History has taught us over and over and over again that is those organizations who make big, bold leaps, who are prepared to think big, start small, and scale fast, truly manage to get ahead. Take a look at your 2020 self from the year 2030. What are you going to see? You need to make that decision right now. Futurist Jim Carroll in the home broadcast studio.